just how would your life change if you were really wired to thrive rather than survive and you were rooted in the soil of love rather than fear? This is exactly the topic of this Taurus new moon as we prepare for the next full moon in Scorpio. And this is the second part of a huge clearing in the collective and for us individually as well around the patriarchal paradigm wounding, both in the wounded masculine, which we addressed with the last new moon, which was in Aries, and the full moon in Libra, and now the patriarchal wounds in the feminine, which we are addressing through the new moon in Taurus and the full moon in Scorpio. So if you want to know how this is going to really impact you, stay tuned. I'm going to be taking you through these new moon energies. I'm going to give you some questions to ponder ahead of the next full moon. I'm actually going to draw some rainbow gems as well that are here, and to see what's really the key message for us to align with the divine today and as we prepare for the next full moon. And I'll be letting you know as well about what's happening with the next full moon and how you can join the next full moon manifesting circle. It's all part of co-creating a new reality. And if you're new to me, I am RozyGlow Hannis. I am a channel of divine grace, and I'm really happy to be here with you today to share with you the good news that the light in our universe has actually won. It's just we haven't quite got the memo here on Earth, and we're getting there, and it is happening, and every one of us is creating the new Earth reality and learning where we are getting in our own way. So this is really potent information. I say this and I can't even see one of my beautiful books nearby, but I'm going to talk about that in a sec. The main thing I invite you to do is stay with me for the next half hour, get your notebook out, open to receiving the downloads that are right for you. The StarPeace collective will be coming through, so I'm just going to give them a chance to connect. And we're then going to be, as I said, I'll be answering any questions in the comments. Anything that's coming up, let me know. Please bring your hands to your heart. Have a little wiggle in your seat. Take a moment to roll your shoulders. Welcome yourself, your soul into your body. And then as you bring your hands to your heart, lift your chest. With your nose, draw a circle in the air in front of you to create a safe container for the wisdom that is coming from your highest self. Go one way and then the other. Beautiful. And then just draw your nose down and up so that you are establishing a connection with your highest self. Now I'm calling in the highest self consciousness for everyone concerned who joins me live or catches the replay of this video. And I'm also calling in the StarPeace collective, my guides and teachers of the purest vibrations of love and light, and intending that I'm a pure channel of source and everyone receives exactly what is for their highest good. So it is, and so it shall be. Very quickly, let's call in, I am divine love, I am divine wisdom, I am divine power, I am divine intent. I am the source of my creations. I am the creator of my reality. I am a multi-dimensional being of love and light. I am that I am. Take a deep breath in, send your breath down your body into the earth, all the way down as far as you can imagine. And then breathe in from the center of the earth all the way into your heart. And breathe out through the crown of your head all the way up to source. Now from the center of the omniverse, breathe in again to your heart. And from here, send your breath down your arms, out into the world, from your heart to all those who are connected to you and supporting the ascension of humanity and also our planet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can gently open your eyes and welcome yourself back. Hey, how are you doing? It feels like it's been ages since I've connected with everyone because I have been on the other side of the world. It feels like my higher self literally took my ankles, turned me upside down, shook me, and a month later I've come back. And it's amazing what happens when you allow yourself to let go of everything that you're usually consumed with, and just surrender so deeply that then when you do come back to yourself, if you like, you get everything that has been a mystery land. And this is the key. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see as I'm reading these bits and stick to point. But as I said, the new moon Taurus is about anchoring the statement, I am safe to prosper and thrive in all areas of my life. Now, if you're catching this on YouTube, I'm just going to say thank you so much for subscribing, for hitting the notifications tab so you know every time I'm live. If you're in my Facebook group, please do comment. It makes all the difference. Add a little heart or like or whatever. It really, really helps. And if you're not in the Manifesting StarPeace Utopia Facebook group yet, this is a private community. It's completely free, but it's a place where those of us who are doing this work consciously can gather and participate together. So you can look at the link on YouTube in the text box to join the Manifesting StarPeace Utopia Facebook group. And we give lots of lovely little things away as well in here. So do come and join us because it's amazing. Now, let's talk about this. I'm safe to prosper and thrive in all areas of my life. There's a few questions I'm going to ask you to write down and ponder. So first of all, how would your life change if the seeds of your consciousness were rooted into the fertile soil of love rather than fear? What that means is, how would your life change if your consciousness was perceiving the world from the roots of love, from safety, rather than from fear and insecurity? Now, I invite you just to ask that question, because when you ask how, you tap into your highest self-consciousness. You start to ponder, where am I coming from here? Am I making this decision from fear, from my ego programming, or am I making this decision from my highest self-consciousness, which resides in the heart? It's really important we start to develop this level of emotional intelligence, because we don't realize how motivated we are by fear as a collective and also individually. But basically, we have been programmed to survive for so long. It's not since the dawn of creation, by the way, but it's since the first fall. Okay, that's when we started to get the cellular memory and the DNA patterning around fearing things happening that are not as we desire, right? So we're going back in time ancestrally quite a long way. All right, I can't tell you how long, but it's a long, long, long way to that initial point when there was a shock that never got processed, unprocessed trauma that then passed to the next generation, the next generation. And this is what really started to build this up. Now, your survival programming is not a bad thing. It will keep you safe in true and impending danger, but you don't want it running your life, because everything is a frigging risk assessment. And when things are not manifesting in your life as you would like, there are different things to understand about that. And remember that not everything is in our control. I'm reminded of a beautiful statement about prayers, and I think this is really useful for everybody if you're going to tap into I am safe to prosper and thrive in all areas of my life. I think it was from 1923, but it might have been from 18. It's the series of Yellowstone series that have been showing on Paramount, and I highly recommend you check them out if you haven't already. Pure edutainment. Anyway, here it goes. There are only 3 answers to a prayer: yes, not yet, I have something else in mind for you. And when we tap into our highest self-consciousness and being wired to thrive rather than survive, we own our desires fully, and we also let go of attachment to outcome, always asking for this or something better. Now, I want to ask you right now, in terms of the things you want in your life, how attached to the outcome are you? And how much does the outcome impact your self-identity, who you think you are? Listen back if you haven't got this the first time, because there's a lot of gold here, and it will prepare you to clear the deep shadows that are relating to the feminine wounding that have been playing out for so long, since that first fall. Now, when I say fall, I mean cataclysm, world event that basically wiped out most of the population. It's happened at least 5 times now, and it has left its impact. Second question: where does the fear of lack in any form still run your life? So you could say it from the I am space. Where does the fear of lack in any form still run my life? This is key because, for example, people talk about, and I remember when I first heard this, I thought, oh, this is great. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Which way are you going? Are you planning for the worst? Hoping for the best? You see how they're going in different directions. You're not committed. And at this point, commitment is essential. There's no playing small. It's go big or go home. If you really, really, really want to create the reality that you're calling in for yourself and for our collective, the global collective, you can't be half-hearted about it. Both feet in, deep trust in the fact that if you do not, if what you want doesn't materialize, something better will. And it's by putting your highest self in control that you will actually work with this in such a way that you can trust implicitly in what goes on. Now, Taurian energy is about foundations. It's about pleasure. It's about security. It's about material wealth. It's about nice tactileness. It's about tenderness. It's about making love. Like the Taurian energy is embodied energy. So any of you who are out in the world, spaced out in your head the whole time, or just way up in your 15th chakra, you can't create from that place here on earth. You've got to get right down into your root and your earth chakra. And everything that is happening in this world today, all of the shifts are happening underground. This is the point about what I said at the start. How would your life change if your consciousness was rooted in love rather than fear? The earth beneath us, the soil, right? The strata, the layers down to the center of the earth. There's a lot of density, a lot of pollution, a lot of unprocessed stuff going on. And there's a massive cleansing going on in the earth through the waters presently. In New Zealand, they had a cyclone and you know, lots and lots of flooding, and 25% of the power of the North Island went out. I know there's a lot going on around the world with various water stuff. And I've also heard that the dolphins and the whales are gathering in superpods presently. Thank you, Jen McCarthy, for that. And this is a real sign that there is a shift occurring, because both dolphins and whales are considered to be very advanced beings here on our planet. They hold advanced consciousness for us to tap into. And as we know, one of the things we haven't been too aware of the impact has been the pollution in the oceans and the pollution in our water. All the work of Dr. Emoto and how actually we affect water through our thoughts, through our expectations, through intention is really powerful, because when we learn how to cleanse our internal waters and the waters of the earth, we purify that density that has it can't be with us. It can't continue in the new earth, right? So that's the density that has come from fear. And guess what? For us to clear the waters, the easiest way to do is to cry, right? To cry, to sweat. I know a lot of people are purging right now, not necessarily number ones, but number twos. There's a lot of clearing going on for base and root chakra and the earth chakra. And one of the things that is essential, because this was coming up with the last full moon energy and also the last new moon, is where have we suppressed our truth, our wants and our needs in order to have supposed security, to have some form of external protection? And in the age of the patriarchy, women generally were very suppressed. They were considered second-rate citizens. I'm talking to the earlier part of patriarchy. It's still going on now. And so there has been this rise of the feminine movement and of feminism and so on and so forth. And it's what I see from this place is that we are fighting for things that are our birthright to claim and to embody. And we've had to fight in the old world. Surviving was what the aim was in the old world. Everything that's happened since the original pioneers started to leave their homes in search of newfound land, in search of uncharted territory, this has been the fight to survive. Those who actually did survive were the hardiest, maybe the cruelest, maybe those who had the fighting spirit in them the most. So we are the descendants of them, right? And the important thing to remember is in the creation of the new earth, you can't be wired to survive and expect to thrive. We have to actually rewire ourselves, repattern our consciousness, rewire our circuitry from even the time before we were born, so that we are wired to expect success. We are wired to expect solutions to problems. We are wired, being born, expecting the world to be a safe place, that we can grow, we can be nurtured and nourished to our highest self-consciousness. Now, if I said to you it wasn't wrong to expect to fight in order to survive in the old world, that was actually the way you had to go. But now it's not going to be right for us in the new world. What I'll say to this is you cannot create a new world from an old world mindset. You cannot create a new solution to a problem from the consciousness that created the problem in the first place. So all of us right now, this is what these energies of this new moon Taurus leading to the full moon in Scorpio are about. Where is their wounded feminine consciousness, beliefs, perceptions that really relate to the desire to cause harm because we have been harmed? And don't worry about what skin suit gender you have or don't have. Consider where you would want to cause harm to others because you have been harmed. Is there anywhere in your world that that might be a case, right? And when we talk about justice, in many ways, justice belongs to the old paradigm, okay? The battle between good and evil relates to the old paradigm. That's the old world, the world we're leaving behind. In the new world, we have evolved beyond that battle. We've unified and ascended beyond good and evil, right and wrong. Yeah? We've actually allowed ourselves to accept we all have shadow. We've all been sinners on some level. We've all caused harm to others and potentially to ourselves. And so for us to wipe the slate clean and step into a new reality, forgiveness is key. We've just come out of the Easter energy as well, right? We're coming towards, next thing is solstice. I'm so glad to be back in England where the sun is shining and the days are getting lighter. I had a wonderful time in New Zealand and Australia. But what my point to this is, ultimately, everywhere there's something slightly different going on, right? And for us in this now moment, we are being given this beautiful opportunity to drop the old stories and to create a new one. And that's what this is all about. So the next question I'm going to invite you to is, how do you overcome the resistance you have to the epic shift you have been calling in? How do you overcome the resistance you have to the epic shift you have been calling in? And part of this is really about us grasping what I just said a moment ago. It's not about the left and the right. It's not about the good and the bad. Which side are you on? It's about collapsing that by owning your shadow. And this then allows us to go beyond fighting for change. And it's not that we don't resist. It's not that we don't persist in our insisting that things change. It's just, in a way, you could say, where are you coming from in your action? Are you coming from your wounded self and therefore reacting? Or are you coming from your highest resolved self in your heart, which means you're responding? There is always a place for stepping in and going, no, that's not happening, not on my watch. And no is very powerful, just as yes is very powerful. So wherever you are with this, notice where you are playing small. Notice where you are contracting and shying away. Because when it comes to overcoming the resistance you have to the epic shift you've been calling in, it's because one bit of you is saying one thing, but you're showing up in the old energy. That's very interesting. I'm getting heart stuff going on here. Frog in my throat, a little tickle in my chest. This is heart chakra clearing, throat chakra clearing, and also third eye clearing that is going on. So last question for you. Do you hope for the best but plan for the worst? Just be honest with yourself. The more you can have honest dialogue, the more you're going to have an easy time of this, okay? Because the thing for us is not to expect there to be no issues to work with. It's to embrace those issues with love, knowing that every time you lean into something uncomfortable, that's going to be when you have your breakthrough. And I think this is really important to state. Anything you want, you know, is outside of your familiar zone, which we call the comfort zone. If you are not prepared to get uncomfortable for what you actually want, if you're not prepared to sort of find yourself challenging what is your norm in order to receive what you desire, you might as well give up, because you don't get to hold a set of beliefs and then insist things change for you. They can't change unless your beliefs and your perception change. I'll talk a little bit more in a minute about what's going to be coming up for the full moon. But the questions I've just asked you are to help you seed the energy of being rooted in love rather than fear. They're also to help you to align with the divine in yourself so that you can allow yourself to make the most of these potent energies. I love that people feel things can just change if they're patient enough. But I just want to say this straight. Nothing changes till you do, right? Your frequency has to shift for your reality to shift. So if your frequency isn't changing Notice for yourself what's coming out of your mouth. Are you focused on the problem or are you focused on the solution? Where is your energy? On the lack or on the potential? Whatever's a wave and a particle in your life. So particles are, if you like, thought forms that have manifested into physical form, from plasma to physical form. Waves are potentials. What you almost want to do is dissolve the particles by shifting your focus from them to the waves, the potential of something that doesn't exist yet, to keep energizing that. And that's exactly what we do in the StarPeace Paradise Earth Portal membership. What I'm doing today is I'm planting the seeds to support you to then do the groundwork to prepare us to create a new vision for our humanity and for our planet with the next full moon. And what I was talking about before is the Scorpio energy is vindictive energy, not the higher octave, but the lower octave. When we come to the full moon in Scorpio, we are dealing with the vindictiveness, the desire for revenge, the desire to hurt others because we've been hurt ourselves. You know the story of a woman scorned. Be careful of a woman scorned, right? You know, the bunny boiler energy. There's all sorts, right? So what I'm talking about here is every one of us to this point has grown in a womb. And that womb has heavily influenced who we are because we grew in the cocktail of hormones that was our mother's norm. So if mum was happy, we pick up happiness and joy. If mum was stressed and anxious, we pick up stress and anxiety. If mum was depressed or angry, these energies, these feeling states, these emotions, they form the foundation of our expectation of life. They're kind of what we're used to. That's our norm. What we grow up around is our normal. It doesn't mean it's normal for anyone else. So if we want to evolve beyond the patriarchal wounding, forgiveness is key, and the willingness to also imagine a new reality into being where we can let go of the battle of supremacy between the masculine and the feminine. We decide to recognize that we are both equally powerful in different ways, and we revere each other's power. And we also let go of this need to be gender specific. You know, everyone who is going for gender neutrality presently is connecting to the uniarchy paradigm, which is the new earth paradigm. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a gender. I'm not giving you my opinion on that at all. I'm just saying that the obsession between, you know, male, female, etc., those who are coming and going, I don't want to be identified in that way, are saying, hey, listen, on a soul level, we're all androgynous. And it's true, we are. We choose a gender to embody when we come to this planet, to experience what it's like to be in a skin suit of a male variety or a female variety. We may feel a strong urge to change skin suits while we're here, or to change our gender while we're here. It's all in the book, StarPeace 101, if you haven't checked it out yet. How to create peace in one generation. This is my offering, if you like, a blueprint for awakening humanity, which is all about making the shift from surviving to thriving. And that book kind of tells you the what. The how is something we bring to life. So the StarPeace Paradise Earth Portal membership is a monthly membership that costs the same as the book, $14.44 a month, that's pounds. And what we do is I release a masterclass every month. This month it's going to be about aligning with your highest timeline. And then I offer you a live session, which is a healing, a reality crafting session, and also an intention setting and clearing resistance session with each full moon, so that we can create an epic shift together. Because when we join together live with intention, miracles happen. When you have one person praying or one person intending, it's powerful. The moment you bring another one in, it's exponential in how the impact grows, right? It's not twice the amount. It just keeps growing exponentially. So the more people we have live, the more impact we have because we join it together in resonance. Now, the links all are going to be in the text box. So if you'd like to try this out, you can, of course, cancel anytime. But I highly recommend you join us and experience it. And we're also going to give you a free multidimensional online yoga class because we want you to experience the next level membership, which is £48 a month, and that gives you the StarPeace Portal membership as part of it. So I'm doing everything I can right now to meet people where they are, so those who want to be part of this shift can. And of course, those of you who are ready for the deep dive, fearless, loved up and limitless, this is the motherboard upgrade. This is the platform upgrade that allows you to do a full mind, body, spirit shift from surviving to thriving. And I'm really excited to say that we have the next round starting imminently. So if you are keen to know more about Fearless, Loved Up and Limitless, please put a hashtag Fearless in the comments and make sure you followed me somewhere where I can send you the details, okay? And I will then respond and I'll put the link for you in the response. So whether you're catching this and manifesting, if you're catching this by email, make sure you get in touch and say you want to know more about Fearless and we'll take the next step, okay? All right, next, I was talking about the power of forgiveness, and this is really key. So obviously Easter, all about Jesus, all about self-sacrifice, all about martyrdom on some level. But I wanted to talk about this piece of forgiveness because one of the things it is said that is in the Bible is that the meek shall inherit the earth. Now, the word meek is interesting and it has different translations, but I remember having a conversation with a very dear friend of mine who's been, you know, strongly connected to the Christian faith for a long time. And she explained to me that actually an interpretation of the meek is the forgiving. And I really resonate with this. And this is why I'm saying to you, the work that we're doing right now is so important, because it's one thing to hold a vision of what we desire. It's another thing to clear resistance to it consciously and subconsciously, and then to clear it from our collective consciousness, our individual consciousness, cellular memory, energy field. You get what I'm saying? There's many layers here. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to remember that the new moon Taurus is supercharging our potential to make the choice, to take a chance, to embrace the change we have been calling in, but we've been resisting without realizing. Do you know I said go big or go home? Imagine now, everywhere that your life hasn't fully been aligning with what you actually want, you decide to put both your feet next to each other, wholly in. This is all eggs in one basket. This is everything you were told in the last world you shouldn't do. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Bird in the tree, two birds in the trees. One bird in your hand is worth more than two in a tree, right? Because it's the potential is not the same as the reality. However, you want to get both your feet in, facing the same direction, put all your energy in and go, this is what I want. And as you go towards it, you will discover whether you really want it or not. All your resistance is going to show up. And you'll also find as you have an experience of it, that perhaps you want something else. As you go towards it, you might want something else. But you've got to own what you want first to then discover whether it's your fear-based programming or your soul that wants this. Is it your conditioning? Or is it your higher self-consciousness? Is it your survival programming? Is it what everyone else does because that's what you do when you're 33? Or is it actually your soul calling? Very important. I'm going to check in and see if I've got any questions from anyone here. Please, please, please do put your questions in the chat box. I'll do everything I can to be able to check that out because often what happens is I don't see it until later. But I would really love to support any questions that are coming up. Hey, Lisa. Hello, Sarah. And hello, Anne. Yay, I'm in the right place. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's move on. Now, in preparation, so the next full moon, one of the things I'm going to be working with is just imagining that every woman who is ever planning to give birth in the future has taken the journey with her beloved, her partner, to bring to light unprocessed trauma, to bring to light their own experience in the womb, their own birth story, their own sort of origin story. So what they know about their parents, how they got together, how they were conceived, whether they were wanted, not wanted, all of this information comes to light. And as a result of that, they do the deep clearing of what has been hidden in the womb before a little being grows in there, right? Before a conception occurs. This is how we kind of take the step beyond recreating the trauma of the past again and again and again. And I know that there is a lot of emphasis on the matriarchal era being a time that was wonderful and how the patriarchal era has been the massive downfall, if you like. My sense is, and I did read a book called Sex at Dawn, which if you haven't read, you might enjoy, but my sense is that actually in the matriarchal era, when women were really revered as the wise ones, the leaders, etc., it wasn't a balance of power between the masculine and the feminine. To me, it feels a little bit intuitively like the men were emasculated. It was almost that, can you just be quiet and look pretty energy that has been turned on us. You know, the masculines we wanted to mate with, yeah, if we were creating next gen life, with the muscly, gorgeous, big, strong ones, right? So there's a lot of like, I'm not interested, not interested, not interested. You're the one I want. Come forward, next generation. And I feel it's so important that we are careful about what we hark back to, because we wouldn't be where we are today if there was a balance of power in the past. It just wouldn't have happened, right? So if we've had the mother's era, we've had the father's era, it's now the era of the divine child that we're preparing for. And I'll talk more about that with the full moon and what that actually means. But the key is that we create a new earth reality founded in love, because we are founded in love. We've taken that upgrade ourselves. We're not expecting the next generation to do it for us. They're not cleaning up our mess. We're cleaning up our mess for them. So bring this back again to this idea of what this new moon is about, to creating the foundations to thrive and prosper in all areas of your life. It's going to do you a great service to own honestly where you feel like you're not thriving in your life right now. It's going to do you a great service to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, these are the areas I'm struggling with. So write that down as well. Where in my life do I feel like I'm not thriving right now? I'm surviving rather than thriving. And when you write all these things down and you journal on them now, knowing that your intention, I suggest you say this every day as you wake up, I am safe to prosper and thrive in all areas of my life. To say that every day up to the full moon, that is going to lead you to become aware of the parts of you that don't believe that and resist that as a truth. And when you do join me for the full moon reality crafting is what we're going to call it. What we do is we envisage beyond that resistance, the version of us that's beyond that resistance. And we go through a process. I download I am statements that we then encode into our consciousness and our cellular memory. And then we go through a process together. It's a visualization. I guide you through it in real time, where we clear up that resistance that's been showing up for you over the next 2 weeks. We have a wonderful opportunity, my friends. We've come from the pioneering energy of New Moon Aries into this rooting energy of, it's fire, now it's earth, of the Taurian energy. And this is where we get to pioneer a new earth reality that is based on thriving rather than surviving, where we learn from the past. We learn to not take. We learn to not take that which isn't ours. We learn to seek to harmonize where otherwise we would battle for supremacy. How can we create the win-win-win here? How can we move forward and actually, wow, this is really bizarre. What do you need to get off your chest? Tap it out a little bit. Whoever's watching, if you're catching the replay, what do you need to get off your chest? What's sitting on your chest? What's not fair in your life? Something about not feeling fair, hard done by. Why do you have to struggle? Why does everyone else get it easy and you don't? Yeah, that's feeling like it's really coming through. So where do you feel like a victim, my friend? Where do you feel like everyone else has got it better than you? Where do you feel like you are the one that has to struggle, that whatever works for other people doesn't work for you? That's exactly it. You've got to fuck that shit off, okay? That's not true. That's a program you're running. And because you're running that program, you keep seeing evidence of it. Are you ready to let it go? It's really important. Okay, that pre-birth work is key. And so is the clearing the subconscious from the collective stuff and the personal. And so is making sure that your conscious mind is actually in alignment with what you say you want, your current consciousness, that your words resonate with what you say you want, that you're not saying one thing and doing another. And also you're not undoing what you want with the words that you say. Anything you say after the word I am, 2 words, you are materializing. So be very careful of that. All right, let's move on. So the neutrality piece is key. Russell Brand obviously has been in the news lately, and it's a very, very interesting scenario. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I managed to stumble. Well, I came across a book called Not, okay, and it is all about a woman's relationship with Russell Brand a while back. I highly recommend you check it out. It's KNOT. I'll put a link to it in the text box. But again, it really gives you some valuable insight into the unclaimed shadow and how that wreaks havoc in one person's life. Now, Russell Brand is a very interesting character. I am not here to pass judgment. I had someone ask me, which side are you on? I'm not on anyone's side. I want to see divine healing going on here with the masculine and the feminine, so we don't fear and we don't project and we don't have to suppress truth. So whatever truth has to come to light, it's really key that it does. And when we own things that are difficult for us to own, each personally and collectively, miracles can truly happen. So if you want to check that out and you want to pay attention to what you're giving your energy to, be aware of that, because there's obviously the huge Me Too campaign. I totally get that. And it's so important that women speak up if they've been treated unfairly, and men too, right? Anyone who's had to suppress their truth, anyone who has been in any way the abuse of power has impacted them. We need to own that in order to move beyond it and not recreate it. Remember, hurt people hurt others. And so when we know that, the forgiveness piece comes back in. And the balance is masculine and feminine within us and in the world. Okay, a couple of things that are key, and then I'm going to just pull some cards for you and just give you a chance to really come into enjoying these energies before we finish. First of all, got a couple of amazing events. I'm so excited that for the first time ever, I'm going to be offering the Formula for Peace workshop at a festival in Spain. So I'm going to be at Love Pirates this year. This is the 16th or 15th to the 19th of May. I'll put the link in for that as well if you want to come and join us. There's definitely some spaces left. It's going to be really cool. It's super grassroots. And I'm going to be taking people through processing around how to shift our mindset from the problem to the solution, what StarPeace is and how to embody it. We're going to be going through embryonic yoga and clearing patterns in the body from our birth trauma yoga. We're also going to be dancing the peace codes into the earth. And I should have a wonderful playlist from the very awesome Lorna James, who channels 8D consciousness plus through her dance music. It's off the scale uplifting. And I reckon I'm going to have another playlist from a very dear friend of mine available to you as well, which is a liquid drum and bass, super beautiful, super melodic one that I'll be able to gift those of you who want to participate. Come join me and yeah, find out more. The other thing that's really key if you're in the UK, 1st of June, I'm hosting, again, a very, very important inner peace day. And it's also the first time I'm going to be sharing with people, repatterning our earliest life memories through embryonic yoga and also through other forms that lead us into repair work that probably never got done after your birth. Now, it's rare that someone had an amazing birth. Occasionally it does happen, but all of us have some healing from our birth to do. So what's come through for this day, it's the 1st of June. It's going to be in Bosham. It's at my favourite place that I love to run things, the Green Door Centre. And this is on ley lines. It's a very powerful place. It's very potent. And we're going to ideally be outside, rain permitting. We're going to be working with the land. We're going to be working the special areas. There's a huge mulberry bush. There's a stone from Avebury. There's this awesome little hut that has some very powerful magical energy there. We're going to be working with the energy of the land. So if you would like to come and access your inner peace, this is really for the healers, the way showers, the coaches, the therapists, those of you who are in service to the highest good of this planet, in service to the ascension of humanity. It's going to be a long day. I really want to offer you the opportunity to dive deeply into all the things I'm talking about now that I bring forward online, but to actually have the physical experience with me. Now, bear in mind that the moment we release the tickets and they're available for sale, there'll be an early bird price that'll be valid for a week, and it's going to go up, and it's going to go up to the full price. Now, if you want to work with me one-to-one and just have a one-off session, that is normally 555, and that's pounds, £555. You're going to be able to access the day retreat for 333 if you participate in the early bird price. Otherwise, it'll go up to 444, and then it'll be 555. I promise you, those who come and spend time with me in person have very swift and quick activations and healings. So if you want something to shift in your life in a big way, I highly recommend that you do come along to this. The spaces are limited. And for those of you who decide you really want to participate in the deep dive that's beyond that one day, those of you who pay up front for Fearless, Loved Up and Limitless will get this day gifted to you by me. If you're not sure you want to do the deep dive, come and do this first and then see. There are different options, okay? But the important thing with this is going to be about how we can repattern your birth story. So whatever you know about your birth, whatever you heard about it, whatever you know about your earliest life, and whatever you know about your parents' story that you can say in story form, we're going to be working with that and clearing cellular memory and shifting things instantly. Now, this is a huge area of my expertise based on all the fertility, pregnancy and birth work I've done over the years, right? We're also going to dance peace codes, of course, and we're going to be making the shift from the pain of staying the same to actually embracing the fear of change and moving through that fear. Okay. So now let's just have a little look at what these energies are. I'll put all the links in the text box so you've got them. And I just want to give you some rainbow gems to work with. These are mindset shifts that will allow you to have some beautiful breakthroughs. So let's just see what's here for this new moon. Take the best and leave the rest. Now, what does that mean? Anything you're experiencing, sieve it. What do you want to take from the experience? What do you want to leave behind? The next one is you don't have to answer every call. Where do you feel you have to show up and you don't actually really want to? You know, if you really want to experience prospering in all areas of your life and thriving, you can't keep wasting your energy giving to everyone and everything. You've got to make a choice. Dad, that's for you, okay? Take the best and leave the rest. Well, that's another true gem. And then the next rainbow gem is everything is figure outable. So anything that feels like you just can't get past. Who do you feel you could ask for support with? Who do you feel you could say, hey, can you help me create a shift here? And this is why I'm inviting you into the StarPeace Paradise Earth portal, because that's exactly what I do. I interact with you in real time with the stuff that you're stuck on. I channel the StarPeace Collective. I bring in the divine guidance, and you then have your breakthrough. And there's a little bit of light language coming in a minute, so bear with me. Last one. Oh, remember to create, remember to masturbate. Masturbate. Basically, to have a fiddle. What is that about? Use your creative, sexual, fertile energy. If you're not, and you're blocked in your sacral chakra, it ain't going to flow, baby. We're all learning to have a different relationship with ourselves. Many of us had shame imprinted on us. And even if our own parents never said anything to us, in the collective, the patriarchal paradigm is sexuality is dangerous. Shut it down. Don't touch yourself. That's dirty. That's bad. Girls shouldn't do that. Boys shouldn't do that. And we're now learning to have a different relationship with our creative power. Okay. So I'm going to pick a card as well. And I'm going to take you into a short little light language transmission. And that's going to be it for the day. So I just want to remind you that if you are wanting to have an experience different to the one you have right now, everything in here is going to help you to do that. Remember to answer the questions and remember to reach out in the comments with anything that you're challenged by. Right. Here we go. What's here for us today in the preparation of the next full moon healing and aligning with thriving in all areas, prospering and thriving in all areas of life. First one, get out of your head. You can't find the solutions you want in your brain, in your mind. That's the 4D place. It's the place of mental and emotional activity, but it's not the place of your soul. Your soul is accessed through your heart. The block to us getting out of our heads and constantly thinking, trying to find solutions is releasing the wounds of the patriarchy, crying the tears of all those moments when we felt powerless, all those moments when we had to suppress our truth, all the times that we had to shut down how we truly feel in order to pay the bills, in order to keep others happy, in order to be safe. The third card is all about how we make the change now. Another patriarchal paradigm. It's actually making the decision that you can have happiness and wealth. You don't have to make a choice between the two. You can be happy, healthy, wealthy, and in love. In fact, that is your birthright. Are you ready to claim it? Give me a yes in the comments, please, if you're ready to claim that. And finally, the resolve and the infinite possibilities for this one. Letting go of despair. When you fully commit, when you decide to back yourself, when you don't know how it's going to happen, but you get clear on what you actually want, everything that needs to get out of the way will. This card, and these are all Leslie Sloane's cards, they're brilliant. I have them for sale on my website. If you want to access those, just go to RozyGlow.com and you'll find the store there. But basically, the angel is always there, but the one who's in despair has to look up to see the possibilities. Okay, so speaking one more for that. Accessing the energy of the divine child. That's uniarchy. That's what we're moving into. I mean, how exciting is it going to be, really, if you give yourself this moment to consider being beyond this story that's been playing out forever, bringing all the truth to light that's coming up in the collective now. Wherever there's been corruption, wherever corruption is systemic, it's all brought to light, just like in many ways what's going on in the US is doing that. And we move beyond the right and wrong into the, okay, what do I want to create in my world today? And we are given access to the tools. We are shown by our own consciousness how to align fully with what it is we say we want. Every client I work with, and it's really interesting, a lot of my one-to-one clients are men, interestingly enough, they know the value of investing in themselves. They will invest big because actually the masculine holds the energy that supports the feminine, and the feminine holds the energy that supports the children. It's like concentric circles, right? So when the masculine feels supported and nurtured within us, and the men in our lives have this access and support, then they can hold space for us in a phenomenal way. Who is supporting them, right? I did a little post about this yesterday. So I'm inviting you now to open to the idea that everything you want already exists. There is a version of you in a parallel timeline or an alternate timeline that already has what you want, is living that reality. Use your imagination to step into that reality. What does it feel like to be that version of you? What did that version of you require to shift in their lives as you are today in order to have that? That's what we are doing. And there's loads in the StarPeace StarPeace 101 book around how to actually do this. Let's do a little check-in. Just for a moment, close your eyes. There's a little activation coming through here for you. So open to receive if you desire. Ishtaraya chikikia ya harana suraya chia asarana ueya ya aharana sueya. Nishtiraya kia ya narana awanawa. Ooh. Dear ones, it is all so much closer than you imagine. It is so much closer than you think. Everything is just a tiny little thread away from where you are now. Nukuraya kia ya awanaya usususuraya chi. How often do you call us in to support you? How often do you call in your guides and teachers to help you see the way ahead? Niyawana ora. We cannot help you unless you ask us to. It's an infringement of your free will. Nusturaya chuchuchukuraya siya awana ahaha siya nishtiraya chiawana ueya. There are many who will not want to believe this is true. There are many that will not want to believe that it is actually possible to create the shifts that you seek. Do you want to listen to them? Or do you want to turn your attention to those who believe it is possible and are already living a new experience and can help show you the way? Imagine it's a 49 to 51% balance. What you focus on is the swinging vote. 50-50 is where it's at. Wherever you put your energy, wherever you put your 2 feet, is the reality you'll start to energize. There has never been a more powerful time for change in this world today. There are so many human beings on this planet, never before this many, that the potential to shift exponentially in a super short period of time is available for the first time ever. We love you. The resources are available to you. Step forward to that which you can say yes to now, and the next step will be made available. We love you, and we see you soon. We are complete. Thank you, guys. Okay, gorgeous ones, that's it for today. I would love to know how this has landed with you. As it will be on YouTube at some point, if you want to share this with your friends, please do. But why not invite them into Manifesting StarPeace Utopia if they resonate with being co-creators of their reality and they're ready to let go of the limitations that have been holding them back. That's what it's all about. I love you. You are amazing. Take care for now. Oh, and if you want to know when we're going to be hosting the full moon event, it's going to be on Sunday. I'll just let you know now. It is Sunday, the 11th of May at 8 p.m. BST that I'm going to be hosting the next full moon event. You only access it by joining the membership, which is $14.44 a month. You'll get all these extra goodies, including not just the free masterclasses a month, but also the Divine Legacy upgrade, which is a whole process for activating your light body, increasing wealth, abundance, joy, love, and health in your life. It's all there. That in itself is worth 555. So I'd definitely get on this. There's a lot of giving we do here. All you have to do is open to receive. It's really simple. So for now, I love you. I set you on your path and have a wonderful, wonderful time. I look forward to seeing you on the 11th. Bye for now.